Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Delve. Today we're starting on a new long-term project, and as you can probably tell from the title, we're gonna try demaking Overwatch into a 2D action game. If you're unfamiliar with Overwatch, well, have I got the series for you. But seriously, Overwatch is a first-person, team-based, class-driven shooter comprised of a varied cast of characters, all with their own abilities covering all types of playstyles. Now, our goal for this project has two phases, and the first is to take all the Overwatch characters' abilities and playstyles and translate them into a 2D environment. Is it even possible to translate everything over, or can we find alternatives that keep within the spirit of everything? The second phase is, well, I'm keeping that a secret for now. We'll focus on the daunting task of Phase 1 before we even start thinking about Phase 2. So today's plan is to start on Phase 1 by translating our first character, Soldier 76. We'll need to build the base for his kit, including his standard fire, helix rocket, sprinting, and of course tactical visor. Now that we've got our plan, let's get to coding it. So before we actually get into any coding, I wanted to go over the engine real quick. So what we'll be using in this Overwatch project is this engine, which I actually made in like GameMaker 8. And transferring it over to GameMaker Studio was a pain in the butt. It actually didn't work, so I had to pretty much rewrite it to work in GameMaker Studio. So it's not perfect, it's still got some work to do, but it'll work, you know, it'll work for our foundation, and it should do us fine for this project. So in terms of features, it's pretty basic. You've got your solid floors here in the green, but these blues are jump throughs. So we do have jump through mechanics in play in case we need them. And the final thing I wanted to mention, just a funny side note, is so this engine was built again in GameMaker 8, and it was built for 30 frames per second, and basically converting all the values into a 60 frame quote-unquote engine, it works very differently, significantly differently. So that is something we'll also need to be tweaking. But because all the heroes in Overwatch have their own sort of quirks to them anyway, it's okay. We can mess with the values as we see fit to the characters. So with that said, let us jump into our first character. And in fact, let's get a more accurate sprite first, or a sprite size, I should say. And while we're at it, we'll make a more accurate sort of sprite of what we can expect the final characters to look like. So 8 by 16 is the expected size for our characters. Actually, why don't we personalize the sprite a bit? Let's give it some life. We'll make a nice, real quick Soldier 76. I'm doing this entirely from memory. So if it's inaccurate, my bad. It's just temporary until we get to the art portion of this Let's Delve sometime down the road, where we actually work on actual sprites. For now, we just need something that's gonna give us a nice indicator of direction of characters facing, as well as, you know, give it some personality. So we got our bad boy sprite in there. There we go. Let's switch them out for this. Let's make sure we have the right character loaded into the room. Okay. Let's do a real quick test, make sure everything is copacetic there. Alrighty, there we go. We got our little soldier. He's ready for action. Yeah. Oh yeah. Alright. This is looking good. Looking good. Alright, here we go. So now we're gonna need a bullet. So let's make a quick bullet. Let's see. So our guys are pretty small, but we want to make the bullets noticeable. You know, we don't want to make things hard to see. So we're gonna make the bullets about half the size of the character. We're gonna start with something noticeable and then change if we need to. Let's call it object bullet. Actually, you know what? Thinking about it, 4 might be too big. We're talking about giant orbs. This is like the Orissa's graviton orb size, I think, in terms of like relative sizing. So this might actually be too big. Let's make a 2 by 1. Let's just see what 2 by 1 looks like. Okay, on creation, so motion set should work. We'll do 2. We'll use GameMaker's built-in function for outside room code. And, you know, if the bullet leaves the room, then we destroy it. So if player clicks left, bullet equals instance create XY object bullets. bullet direction equals X, Y, mouse X, mouse Y. And our cooldown is, let's say 5. So if cooldown does not equal 0, cooldown minus 1. Forgot to add the cooldown conditional. Make sure that, you know, we are able to shoot. Okay, so in review, when we press the left click, or we hold it down, if the cooldown is at 0, we create a bullet, and then we set that bullet to go towards the towards wherever we're aiming with the mouse, and then we set the cooldown, and then the cooldown will commence, and if we're still holding the button, it should create another bullet. Well, one of the side effects to making it yellow is we inadvertently made P. They don't really move like bullets, but you know, they're more like fireflies. Oh yay! I'm making fireflies. You know, this gray is really grating. Let's make it something a little, I don't know, nicer. What a nice purple. There we go. At least it's a little nicer on the eyes. All right, so that functionality is at least working. So make it a little nicer now. First things first, we gotta increase that fire speed now that we know it works. It needs to work more like a bullet. So 3 should be a little better. What we're gonna do in the step event is image angle equals direction. So the bullet should turn. So the angle should be, there you go. There you go, that's more like it. Flip, 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 flip. Yeah. So just realized I did not transfer over my screen shake or my camera code before starting. My bad. So unfortunately we cannot add some screen shake during this session, but we will add it in a future session. For now, we'll just have to pretend it's screen shaking all over the place. So now we need another cooldown. We'll just make it cooldown 2. You know, we'll do this just for our sake. Left click, right click. So the right click is going to be the missile. Now missile is a bit more imposing, so we'll make it slightly larger than the bullet. Let's make this bad boy blue, since that's more like the helix rocket color. Again, these are all temporary sprites until we get to the actual art asset parts, but you know, for now we need just some visual representation of, you know, our ammunition. So we can basically duplicate the bullet code, call it the helix rocket, switch out to the helix rocket sprite, and we've got the same thing. We'll make the rocket slightly slower than a bullet. So if mouse check a button MB right, rocket equals instance create helix rocket. Yes. Rocket direction equals point direction. Pretty much the exact same code as the bullet because it is what it is. Now helix rockets gotta have a longer cooldown. For now we're just gonna make it a 1 second cooldown. So we should get a very similar effect. Here we go. Whoosh. Ooh, what the? Oh, that's not right. Hold on. Yeah, that's right. We've got to make it cooldown 2. Cooldown 2. We're checking for cooldown 2, not cooldown 1. I did like the momentary bullet hell moment there. Then bullets. Helix rocket. Okay, the helix rocket should go a little faster. You know, I think we need to increase the speed of everything, really. Let's go crazy. Let's just go crazy. Okay, that feels more like a rocket. Yeah. I don't know if the bullets are too much. I think for the bullets we wanna make that cooldown a little shorter. So let's go like 3. Let's go 3. That's 3 frame cooldown. 2 frame cooldown. Let's see what a 2 frame cooldown looks like. So that's actually, you know what? This actually helps me figure out an issue I thought I was gonna have to run into later. So what's happening right now is the bullets are firing at such a quick pace and the cooldown is so short that it looks like a consistent stream. That is beautiful. This is like a whip of bullets. All right, so obviously we're gonna continuously tweak this as we go along, but I should also mention that I'm kind of doing this off the top of my head. See, the good thing is I play a lot of mystery heroes, so I play the full spectrum of the roster. So I do have some sense of knowledge of every character and how they play, but the intricacies, like the intricate details, the intricate values, they're beyond me. I might have to do some research, but I'm gonna try and get it as accurate as I can. But obviously the translation of 2D to 3D is gonna be different, and there's also the factor of getting the weapons to feel right. But for now, we're in such an early stage, it doesn't really matter. We just need to get the baseline.